It is 1 o'clock, the fourth and final hour of Three Man Front. Appreciate everybody tuning us in. Been a great show today as we have previewed the Oklahoma game against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Auburn is off this weekend. Talked about the Auburn coaching search. Still appears that John Sumrall is the leading candidate for that job, but there's plenty of other candidates that are in the mix. But joining us now, big game between the Hedges and Athens, Georgia, coming up this weekend as the Texas Longhorns visit the wonderful Between the Hedges, taking on the Georgia Bulldogs. And joining us now from Horns 247, Eric Henry joins us now. Eric, I hope you're doing well. And I guess, have you started the trek to Atlanta and then Athens yet?
I'm doing all right. Appreciate it, fellas. You know, I get a lot of ridicule from the rest of the Texas beat for being early. I like to fly in and fly out early. I have a 5:20 flight a.m. tomorrow.
Oh.
And if I need to leave any earlier than that, then, you know, we've got bigger problems with the transportation.
Well, I was going to ask you, leaving from Austin to anywhere in the country, I mean, I assume that it's you don't have to go through, do you have to go through Houston or Dallas to get anywhere? Because like where we are, we always had to go through Atlanta before we go anywhere.
You know, I was spoiled being a Tampa native. You could get anywhere. I got a direct flight. So I'm, again, fingers crossed, I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia come 9 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow.
It's been kind of a whirlwind season. That's for a lot of football programs, but especially Texas with the expectations coming into the season. Eric, where are folks, the fan base? I know a lot of anticipation. You still have hope for the CFP heading into this weekend, but where are Texas fans and what have you been able to gauge?
You know, it's been interesting you asked that question because here's the thing. Texas controls its own destiny as far as the college football playoffs are concerned, right? If you win out, you certainly are in. I'm of the belief that if you win 2 out of the next 3, you're in. Right now, I think a lot of Texas fans are hyper-focused on the idea of this being an SEC title game, make-or-break situation, right? Because, of course, if you lose this one, you're pretty much out of the equation, right, barring some, nuclear scenario. I think the biggest thing for Texas fans kind of going, maybe less big picture and more in specificity to Georgia is this. To quote the great Ric Flair, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's a feeling that for Texas, if they truly are an SEC contender year in and year out, they have to be able to overcome Georgia and beat them, especially considering, remember, guys, this was a team that was ranked number 1 in the nation to open the year. If you lose to Ohio State, lose to Georgia, Texas fans don't like to think, or Texans in general, I should say, don't like to think of themselves as less than. I do think there'd be a feeling that, man, if we can't beat Georgia again, we're just a notch below some of these programs who are playing for national titles yearly.
All right, Eric, let's talk about Arch Manning because the first month of the season, you had a lot of national pundits that wanted to take shots at Arch Manning. But listening to Steve Sarkisian earlier this week, he said not only does he believe the offense is playing at a really good clip, but all phases of the game right now for Texas is going well. But I want to start with Arch Manning. What have you seen covering them on a daily basis, just the overall improvement of Arch Manning from where he was the first month of the season?
Yeah, I'll just say something really quick. If Steve Sarkisian, and I'm not, questioning you, but if Steve Sarkisian said all phases of the offense are playing well, that's just not the truth. But I'll come to that in the second. Arch Manning, in terms of his development, it all depends on what prism you want to view it, guys. I mean, those of us who are local here in Austin, local in Central Texas, we saw Arch Manning throughout the offseason, ever since he arrived on campus, right? And if you want to view him through the prism of highly talented 5-star quarterback recruit, he's just a little shy, I think, of where you'd want him to be at this place, right? Because you had the abysmal outing against Kentucky. And, a one-off you can kind of forgive, but you have an abysmal outing against UTEP. Both of those, and it wasn't just him. It was the entire offense, right? And Steve Sarkisian has a play call and some of it as well. But you have multiples of those, even though you're a first-time starter, shy of where you want him to be. Now, if you want to view him through the prism of generational talent, and I'm as big of a Gus Johnson fan as anybody, but I don't know where in that TV intro of the Ohio State game he became a generational talent. I've said this before, I'll say it again. He is not LeBron James. He is not Victor Wembanyama. You don't just put him in day one and all of a sudden your organization instantly becomes a title contender or becomes better. Have certain things, i.e. the footwork, i.e. consistency, the footwork. We didn't necessarily see the poor footwork over the offseason, but the consistency, right? We saw one day it'd be great. The next day it'd be like, man, offense still has a ways to go. And I think a lot of it, at least speaking from the local perspective, we couched it in, hey, well, this is a really good defense Arch is facing every day in practice. So maybe that's some of it. Well, we saw that carry over to, the regular. That's my way of saying I think it all depends on the lens with which you want to. But right now, I think he's starting to play his best football, and it's coming at the right time for Texas.
Eric Henry, Horns 247, breaking down not only the Texas Longhorns, but we're going to talk about the game coming up this weekend in Athens, a 6:30 kick between Texas and the Georgia Bulldogs. All of our guests join us on the Higginbotham Hotline. 0 for 2 last year for Sark versus Georgia, earlier in the season there in Austin, and then what we got in the championship game. This is a different Texas team, but it's also a very different Georgia team as far as the prospects of getting that win versus this Bulldog team on the road Saturday night. How much better equipped do you believe that Texas is this year than the previous 2 tries?
I'm glad you asked that question because how much better equipped are they? Well, I mean, listen, do you ever get better when you lose double-digit players to the NFL, right? I kind of did a thought experiment where I said, if you look at last year's roster, how many areas would you say Texas is a clear upgrade this year, right? And some Texas fans said, well, Eric, it's being difficult. They lost, double-digit players to the NFL, not just last year, but in 2023. But if you are the type of program that Texas wants to be, you would think at least one spot you would have an upgrade. You couldn't really find one outside of kicker and punter. So I guess to answer that question, I would say this. Are they any better equipped than they were last year? The answer is no. I mean, I can't confidently say that they are better equipped. What I would say is this. They're certainly better equipped from the way, they opened the season, right? I think I probably was a little bit hard on Texas. Steve Sarkisian would say, you take a look at that stretch away from Austin. They went to open SEC play. They went to Florida and lost. They win the neutral site game against Oklahoma. They squeak one out against Kentucky and have to go to overtime against Mississippi State. Steve Sarkisian would say, hey, we went 3-1. Give us credit for that. I kind of took the approach. Are we really boasting the fact that, we had to squeak out wins over Kentucky and Mississippi State? But with that being said, why do I think they're better equipped? I think they have to learn something about themselves. I do truly believe in some of that coach speaky type stuff. That aspect I believe, right? This year's group hadn't been through the wars, the proverbial wars, quote unquote, that the previous 2 years groups had, right? The group that went 5-7 under Steve Sarkisian, the group, some of those players played for Tom Herman, right? This year's team needed to find their own, build their own calluses, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, right? So in that sense, I believe they're better equipped than they were 5, 6, 7 weeks ago. But I can't sit here and say they're significantly better equipped this year than last year because, just take a look at the amount of talent that's playing in the NFL.
Eric Henry joining us for a few more moments from Horns 247, joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline as the Texas Longhorns take on the Georgia Bulldogs this weekend between the hedges. So let me ask you this. From a college football playoff perspective, can they afford to lose one more game? I'm talking about Texas. Could they lose this weekend to Georgia but then beat Texas A&M, or vice versa? Could they beat Georgia but then lose at home to Texas A&M and still get into the college football playoff?
I believe the answer to that question is yes. They cannot lose the nuclear scenario for Texas, right? But I do believe against Georgia and Texas A&M is still finding the way in the college football playoff. Why is that? The Southeastern Conference brand has marketed itself, and that goes to Greg Sankey. He said, hey, you've done a great job of marketing the SEC as this league to where we could have 6 teams, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I will say to this, to bolster his point, I'm on the record. I honestly want to see the 6th best SEC in college football playoff over, maybe another Big 12 team. But hey, are you really looking to take Texas Tech and BYU? In the ACC, you can barely find one team that you want to take out of that league right now, let alone 2. Big 10, I guess, you're probably looking at Ohio again, and then, maybe you weren't going to take an additional SEC question. I think because of the way the SEC got, the strength of schedule, I guess that's the easy way to put it, right? Texas and some other teams certainly have a strong case to be, if things shake out for the rest of the year, a fifth or sixth team in the college football playoff. And I think Texas, if they split A&M and Georgia, I think they'll find their way in.
I would be remiss if we did not ask you your prediction for the game, or how at least you think it's going to go Saturday night in Athens.
Yeah, this one won't make Texas fans happy, but hey, I got to call it like I see it. I do not think this is going to be a blowout. If you take a look at the 15-point loss last year, that is the second largest margin of defeat in the Steve Sarkisian era. Prior to that, they lost 30-7 at Ohio State in 2020. At Iowa State in 2021. I don't think it's going to be that type of game. I think this is going to be a neck-and-neck game for 4 quarters. Quite frankly, Georgia is not the same team that it was over the last 2 years as well. Let's not forget about that. But at the end of the day, I'm a big believer in what Georgia has at quarterback with Gunnar Stockton. They are playing at home, and I do see this game. The prediction I just put up on our site for me was Georgia 20, Texas 17.
All right. Should be a close one. Should be a fun one between the hedges. Safe travels to the Eastern time zone, and we'll catch up, I'm sure, in the next couple of weeks, Eric.
Always a pleasure having on with you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks. That's Eric Henry from Horns 247. Does a great job covering the Texas Longhorns. He joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. It's your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. And it's interesting because according to ESPN, currently they have a 42% chance of making the college football playoff. I'm talking about Texas. That's before the game. If they were to beat Georgia, it goes up to 77% chance of making it. If they lose, it drops to 30% chance, with really the only big game left for them to get a little love from the CFP would be a win at home against Texas A&M.
A lot to be decided. And a lot will be determined by teams outside of the SEC and those teams that are right now on the outside looking in. Potentially big news for college football fans here in the state of Alabama, particularly Birmingham. We will tell you what it is next on Three Man Front.
1:15 on Jocks. Appreciate Eric joining us from Horns 247. Big game coming up as the Texas Longhorns, in his prediction, they would lose by 3 to Georgia. The final there would be 20-17.
Really big news as we teased coming out of Birmingham, UAB, and Samford. First and foremost, they have announced future football games beginning next season. October 3rd is the date for UAB and Samford in 2026. The two will also play in 2027 on September the 25th. Also, more news for UAB. They have added a non-conference game for next season. They will begin the game in a place that Pat loves so much. He speaks so fondly of Champaign-Urbana. They will take on Illinois beginning this season next year. That's September the 5th. So good news that you get Samford and UAB. Makes sense for the next 2 seasons.
It's really cool that the two athletic departments work together to finalize the basketball schedule and also football. So that's huge.
Well, you don't want to get caught in the cold, so schedule your system checkup now from a Train comfort specialist. Train has been recognized for 11 consecutive years as America's most trusted HVAC brand, and they're our exclusive home comfort partners here at Jock. So go and visit Train.com to find a comfort specialist near you.
We have a team in the state that is playing ball tonight at 6:30 on ESPN as the Troy Trojans, 6-3 on the season, 4-1 in the Sun Belt Conference. They're on the road at Old Dominion. Old Dominion 6-3, 3-2 in the Sun Belt. Old Dominion is a 12.5-point favorite tonight with a 52.5-point total in this game. Expected high of 50 degrees tonight. Watch that barometric pressure if you want to watch the special teams play tonight. Always kind of warn people this time of the year when that stuff happens.
You're always looking out.
Yes. But Troy, 12.5-point underdog. Bit weird.
Yeah, ODU's been really good at home. And you forget that ODU played one of their best games of the season against Indiana.
They did. That was the first game of the year, right?
Yeah.
You feel better about Old Dominion minus 12.5 or the Patriots minus 12.5?
I think the men of Troy are going to give Old Dominion a good game tonight.
That's right.
Okay.
Shields and swords in tow.
I got 10 of those.
Yes, you do.
You want to see them?
All right, so we need to. I hate to do this on the air, but we need to come up with a finalization here in regards to what we're doing with him.
Okay.
So what are we doing?
We're gonna have tiers of challenges. What we want to do, I think what's more important now is we have people that number one, we appreciate them listening to the show, but to let them know that we are going to be doing something to help families that are in need around the holiday season, and that will be through non-perishable canned goods and other things that they can drop off, but we're going to get all the details. But in addition to that, we are setting up challenges, and Conrad has agreed to do this out of the goodness of his heart. Well, he will do these challenges. If you listen to the show, random toothbrushes, that was for personal gain, the one-chip challenge, some of the other things that he's done. But along those same lines, and we're going to throw in kind of interweave a Thanksgiving theme with Thanksgiving foods. So gravy, think of something creative that Conrad can do with gravy, or cranberry sauce, or whatever. People did a great job of making suggestions, but we'll have tiers attached to monetary amounts. And when he performs this certain challenge or task, then of course that money goes to take care of needy families.
Okay, so the first tier, I suppose, is going to be him dressing up like a pilgrim, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that we should have a tier where the people who drive by in person to either drop off or say hello, that a $25 donation, he does a 30-second
Dance.
pilgrim dance of some kind.
I'm thinking like a turkey dance.
A turkey dance?
Whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can do that.
But he keeps his clothes on, right?
Yes.
Can we add
Would hope
glitter?
that all of these tiers would leave me clothed.
Right.
All right, so tier 1 is just him dressed up like a pilgrim.
Dress up like a pilgrim.
All right, so that's $100.
Yeah, because we've already gotten that. So, yeah.
All right, $100. You're wearing that pilgrim outfit all day.
Yep.
Okay.
Might even wear it 2 days in a row.
Think that'd be a good idea. It's supposed to be delivered today.
Can I wear it in the press box on Saturday?
That would be awesome. And I support that.
Okay, so the whole dancing routine.
The dancing thing.
What's the deal there?
Is that that's $25, and that's a 30-second.
So are you envisioning
So you're going
Person
a la carte
pulls
here.
up.
Molly, would you agree to come up with a 30-second choreographed thing for him to do?
Absolutely. How flexible are you?
none?
Okay.
This
Not.
is perfect. All right, so Molly's going to choreograph the dance that you'll perform for people.
Here's.
Okay.
Can I just make a suggestion?
Go
I'm
ahead.
all about like more money,
Yeah,
the better.
okay.
But I say because you're going kind of a la carte by people trying to just get the 25.
Yeah, Landrum's putting me on a menu now.
I am. That's the way I'm envisioning this. Is a menu.
I can see that.
Like your starters would be the dance.
So I'm thinking we come up with another number, and just say we get to that number, and whoever comes by, he's got to do the dance. It's not like per $25. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like we go to a certain tier. Where
I'm going to be doing that for 4 hours then.
And don't worry,
That's
we'll
a lot of
record it for
dancing.
social media.
That's a lot of dancing.
Where's Selfless Conrad? We had him
You're
yesterday.
right.
It will be
You're
on
right.
the internet.
I'm sorry. Selfless.
So say
$500?
yeah, $500 he dances.
I think longer than 30 seconds.
What are you doing to me, man?
Well,
It's for charity.
I'm not in charge of the choreography. I think you need to be asking Molly that.
Yeah, you and Molly will have to go to the dance studio and figure that out.
That'll be great.
Do you have any tights?
No.
Uh,
I don't know. Does the outfit have tights? Or the costume?
It could.
oh, it's
You'll have to practice in the costume.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
of course.
You got socks, you got pants, you got belt, you got a blouse. That's what it looks like. It looks like a blouse. Hat. You said the black shoes you've got covered. We got the buckles for the black shoes.
How about this? I'm trying to help you out. Let's say
Doubt that.
if we get to $500, then you will do the routine once every 15 minutes.
Okay.
Ooh, every time the music comes on.
That sounds good.
Is that fair?
Once a segment of the show. Once per segment of the show. That's about 10 to 15 every 10 to 15.
Okay, so gravy has come up a lot on the show in the last 2 days with recommendations for gravy. I think Thanksgiving, I do think gravy.
Okay, so we're at 100. He's dressed up like a pilgrim, and Fat Joe has already donated.
Yes, thank you, Fat Joe.
So Fat Joe has already got us to the $100 plateau, which means
I'm
now
dressing up.
we're giving out your Venmo, right?
Yeah, we can do that again.
That's what we're doing. So we're going to do his Venmo, and then what we're going to do, and we'll be in the up and up here, that once you get the money from the Venmo, then we will send this directly to the charitable cause in which we're doing to help feed people during Thanksgiving.
Correct. And we will provide receipts to anybody that donates money to
Absolutely.
verify
Yes.
that your money is going
Absolutely.
to that and not
going to that. This is not
more open-toed shoes for me.
correct. All right, so $100, which you're already doing, you're wearing the pilgrim
Correct.
outfit. $500, if we get to that threshold, then you're doing some dance that's being choreographed by Molly.
Yes.
Yes.
Every 15 minutes, you're dancing.
Yes, throughout the show. So that would
throughout a
be
4-hour
16
period.
dances.
16 dances.
I'm thinking turkey somewhere in there, Molly, but could we get at least where he has to audibly go,
Gobble, 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 gobble.
yes, at certain points?
Perfect.
Okay, that's good.
All right, so that's 500. Now, he asked us to make sure that if we have another type of physical challenge before we get to the food portion of the challenge. So let's go to 1,000.
Okay.
We go to $1,000. What's he doing?
Are we doing the pie eating?
That's good.
Or you said before the food?
Yeah.
Mm.
Or you could do the gravy, what you were thinking about. The gravy could be.
Oh, well, the gravy could be this. So a lot of gravy in a 5-gallon bucket, Duke's mayo,
Yeah, kind of the Duke's mayo.
college bowl game, and you get the gravy dumped on you.
The gravy is
That's
dumped on
great.
you
Yeah.
For $1,000.
It's all gravy,
It's just the
baby.
tip of the cap to college football in the bowl season.
Yes. For 1,000, right?
Sure.
Yep.
Can we do that at like the end of the day though?
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll see.
We'll do that. I actually don't want to mess up the pilgrim outfit. I might need it later. Yeah, don't ask.
Okay. So all right. So gravy bath for $1,000. God,
Okay, that's good.
how hard is it to get? Like,
That's not bad.
I know, but just it's kind of thick consistency. Like,
No, it depends on what kind of gravy we get.
yeah.
But it'll definitely have giblets.
Okay, so after the gravy bath at $1,000, what's the final tier going to be, I guess?
All right, so the final tier, I would say 2,000 that you have to eat in a 5-minute period. Cranberry sauce, apple
He
pie,
hates cranberry sauce, by the way.
and again, we'll get the number, and a corn cob within a 5-minute period.
Ooh, I can bring my corn hat.
Okay.
So the question is, how much cranberry? Like how many cans?
I think
can?
I think 1 can is fine.
Okay, 1 can of cranberry. How many?
One regular sized soup can.
An apple pie.
A whole apple pie.
I can't.
Not a
I'm
whole
not gonna
apple
be able
pie.
to eat
There's no way you can do that.
All right, half.
Is there a time limit?
5
Yeah, 5
minutes.
Oh, in
minutes.
5 minutes? Okay.
Half of an apple pie,
Mhm.
no hands.
No hands. Hands behind the back.
Oh,
Yep.
boy. And then a corn cob.
And a corn cob.
All with the hands behind the back?
No, we'll let him. We'll
I can
let
use
him
my
his
hands for the
hand
other stuff, right?
on the corn cob.
Okay.
Because the way he butters his corn on the cob.
I do like to butter my corn on the cob. It's the best way to eat it.
Kind of like the way you eat a banana.
Okay, now we got.
I'm going to start eating my banana with a spoon like that video.
Is
I
this
sent
the
you, that weird
$1,000 or is
guy.
this the $2,000 tier?
For
Which one? I mean, if they've got other ideas, we're open to them.
Well, somebody is saying for $2,000, do something with a turkey baster.
I think that one's not happening.
He said something. He wasn't specific.
I just,
By the
I
way,
think I know where something's
by the
going.
way, going back to earlier in the conversation, that's why I was laughing. The text line. I could read this text. It was from Faye.
Oh, really? Can you read it?
All it
Actually,
says,
on the air.
all it says is, "I'm flexible."
She just texted and again said, I also have a turkey baster.
I bet she does. Any other ideas before we decide on this? Does she work at Buc-ee's? Is that the picture?
That's the picture.
Are we talking about the one from last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she works at Buc-ee's,
I
or she was visiting Buc-ee's.
Maybe.
I don't think that's actually Faye.
You don't think so?
No.
Hmm.
But I could be wrong.
Well, it ruins the surprise when you two finally meet.
Maybe she'll stop by and give a donation.
Maybe so.
And maybe she wants to see you dance.
Maybe so. Faye, if you, I will say this right now. If Faye comes up to the radio station next Wednesday and donate, you got to donate something. I will do a personal dance. Canned food. Donate canned food. I will do a personal dance for Faye. I will come up with something. I'll come up with something special.
Is this enough money, or do we need to go higher?
I was really surprised how much people were willing to send him on the fly with the toothbrush thing.
Yeah, it was $250 without not even
In
trying.
like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we definitely have listeners that have expendable income. And right now, I feel like we're tugging at their heartstrings because while this is all fun and good, there's needy families that are out there that we can help.
Well, that's what we're trying to do, isn't
Is
it?
there anybody else, like text-wise, have they given us any other ideas?
There are some I cannot read. Okay,
Okay, no, I understand.
There's just no way we're ever going to read those.
Yeah, you can't read like half of them.
I can't. Have him drink a gallon of brown gravy through a straw.
Oh, yeah. See that? Mm-mm. I would vomit.
This is the same person that texted in that he needed to put on the police suit and let the K9 chase him. We loved that idea yesterday, but Conrad said no
That's
way.
a good idea.
Someone saying, what about cranberry pie?
Never had cranberry pie before.
2000, take one shot from a cattle prod.
I'm going to pass on that one as well.
People suggesting for Molly. Now, she is the
choreographer.
Yes. I was going to say choreography guru.
That too.
But so people are suggesting things. I suggested the gobble gobble and the turkey wing flap at some point during the song. And people are saying electric slide maybe with some break dancing.
Okay.
Just between. We're going to leave that up to Molly.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Don't worry. I'll come up with something good. How
Oh.
flexible are you?
Again, not.
We'll start stretching.
Steve says, what about Conrad takes a whipped cream pie to the face at Social Taco? I mean,
Sure.
Are people going to donate money to food banks to pie me? I don't know if I want to sign up for that.
drink a gallon of cold turkey broth?
Oh,
You don't want to be cream pied?
no. Pat's so proud of that one.
Those are all I can.
Really proud of that one.
Oh, duct tape hundreds of turkey slices to his bare skin. Wear it for the show.
For what?
I have no idea.
That's
I like that one.
Shorts
that's
only.
creative, but that's weird.
We should do that one.
That's creative though.
Someone
Sounds
suggesting you
awful.
ring the Salvation Army bell in a bikini. Oh, I forgot about the other suggestion that got sent in
Yeah, y'all were a big fan of that one.
that Pat has not unveiled for us. It came from one of our listeners.
Yeah, because it's not happening. That one is not happening.
Carrie says eat 3 dozen deviled eggs.
Oh,
Ooh.
no. Ooh.
I love
Ooh.
deviled eggs.
I
but,
hate deviled
that,
eggs.
That'd be tough.
Oh, my breath would be rancid.
Oh, how about have Conrad eat a can of Thanksgiving in a can?
Eat what? Thanksgiving in a can?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
I don't know. Or is he just saying eat something Thanksgiving while you're in the can?
I could do that.
Of course you could.
All right, we will continue on this Thursday edition of Three Man Front on Jocks. It is 1:36 on Jocks. Appreciate all the wonderful, interesting, descriptive things that people would like Conrad to do for money. Always a good time here on Three Man Front. Brought to you by Courtesy GMC out in Trussville. You need to take advantage of the Black Friday all month long at Courtesy GMC. Biggest savings of the year and the lowest prices in the Southeast. Up to $14,000 off MSRP on the remaining 2025 2500 HDs that are in stock now. Up to $12,000 off MSRP on the 2026 Sierras that are in stock. Up to $15,000 off MSRP on the 2025 Sierras. $6,000 off MSRP on the beautiful mid-sized GMC Canyons. Only a couple left on their 9-acre lot on the Canyons, but multiple terrains and Acadias have hit the ground in huge savings as well. I've driven an Acadia now for the last 3 years, and I love that vehicle. AT4 package, whatever package you'd like, they have it there at Courtesy GMC off of I-459, exit 32 in Trussville.
A lot of your texts that are rolling in 205-834-9450. In case you missed the announcement, we are going to have Conrad do some challenges, physical challenges, some eating challenges, some other challenges. A lot of you sending in great suggestions. All of this is to raise money to help out some needy families in our area for Thanksgiving and the holidays.
Yeah, so next Tuesday at Social Taco, we actually will have some boxes set up, and we would love for those that come by and see us at Social Taco to bring a canned good or anything that would potentially be used for someone during the holiday season that might not be able to afford to have a traditional Thanksgiving meal with their loved ones. So we'll be collecting there, and then we'll have more information. But on the next day, on Wednesday, we will actually do our show from our parking lot here at Cumulus Media. And it's going to be designed to where you literally can drive by, you can watch Conrad perform in the parking lot, and you can drop off some goods for Thanksgiving. Yeah. So a wonderful opportunity to give back to the community.
Yeah. And so that, if you're just kind of coming up to speed on what's going on, Conrad has done these challenges in the past, but this is why we're doing it this particular time. And we appreciate all of your great suggestions. And a lot of you have very generous hearts. We've seen that in the past and expect that to continue to help out some folks that sure could use it right now.
Absolutely. So we're going to have some fun. Conrad is being a great sport.
Yes, he is. Very selfless of him.
Yep. So we're going to be able to hopefully raise some money. And who knows, if we get over that $2,000 plateau.
I think we're going to do it.
If we get over that, there's no telling. I mean, Conrad might come to your house and, wash your car and
look how excited he
vacuum your den.
Not doing that.
Change your tire.
Yeah.
I will do that. I'll try.
You're going to put that to rest.
I'll give it the old college
That's what we
try.
should do. We should have a tire changing challenge in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just
the lug nuts.
Just give me
Just
give me the tire iron and say good luck. Let me watch me figure it out. Can Conrad finish the tire change before the show's over? Give me 4 hours to change the tire. See how far I get.
You see Conrad over there with a YouTube pulled up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what you would see.
But I also understand you've called your mom in. You've called in reinforcements. Your mom is going to come next Wednesday.
Yeah, so she can laugh at me, not so she can support me.
That's gonna
she
be
wants
great.
to laugh
Would
at me.
Would she be willing to go on the air so we could?
Oh, I'm sure she would be fine with that.
We could have a
What
conversation
if she
with her while
shows
you're
up
doing
with a
this.
check for $2,000 and says she does not want her baby to go through any of this, and she will pay $2,000 just so that he won't do it?
I think that'd be great.
Then I will accept that money from my mother and tell her to go home, and then we'll do the challenges anyways.
Look at that.
That's a good sport.
That is a good sport.
That's not
That's the
fair to the
Conrad I
listeners.
know.
It's about the listeners.
That's the Conrad I know. It is. It's the one I know, not you, Pat. You know a different Conrad.
Obviously, based on comments in the last segment.
I was just trying to clarify. That's all.
I appreciate that.
Pat's still upset about the penny.
Well, I had to scratch my toes earlier, and that was
If you missed
really
it,
got in
go
the
back.
ridges there.
Go back in all seriousness. If you missed Pat's eulogy to the penny,
It's beautiful.
JocksFM.com and the 3-Man Front podcast.
It's in the Hour 3 podcast.
And it's on
So
Twitter.
well
done.
worth a listen.
So well done.
And it's on
Molly's
Twitter.
put it on Twitter, I believe.
Good.
Took me a long time to write that, Conrad, and you just kind of blew it off like it was no big deal.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who uses a penny?
Landrum was picking his teeth with the postcard you put it on.
No, it wasn't. That was my other card. That was my doctor's appointment reminder card, to be exact.
My apologies.
I told Conrad, I said, I don't just pick up random toothbrushes if I get a peanut stuck in my teeth.
No, you use a postcard.
Well, it's been in my wallet.
Well, maybe after all of Conrad's challenges, you might need a place to eat, and Big Whiskey's is the perfect place to do that. They have great food of all varieties with a full menu with apps, salads, burgers, and steaks. They have plenty of screens so that you can catch all the games all weekend long, Friday night, Saturday night, even Sunday. The kitchen is open late. Also, school is back in, so you have a lot going on. Let Big Whiskey's do the work because they offer online ordering and curbside pickup for those busy evenings. Go see them in the Stadium Trails Village off 459 and Highway 150 near the Hoover Met.
When we come back on Three Man Front, we'll do some Pat Ponders brought to you by Courtesy GMC. This is Three Man Front on Jocks.
.145 three-man front. Very busy Thursdays. It typically is, especially during football season. Any portion of the show, you can find it there at jocksfm.com and the three-man front podcast. We do have college football tonight. Troy taking on Old Dominion on the road, and Troy is a double-digit underdog in that one, 10.5. Meanwhile, Alabama, they are hosting Purdue there at Coleman Coliseum, 6 o'clock the tip, and you can view the game on ESPN2. Also, the NFL tonight. You get the Jets and the Patriots. But how about our friends at Prize Picks? You can join millions of users. Sign up today for America's #1 fantasy sports app. Prize Picks is simple to play. You pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get the picks right, you could cash in. Tonight, we will go professional ranks when it comes to football. New England taking on the Jets. Quarterback Drake May, one-time North Carolina Tar Heel. Projection is 1.5 passing touchdowns, more or less for Drake May. 1.5 pass. I tell you what, let's make this easier. 236.5 passing yards, more or less. Does he go more or less than 236.5?
Yeah, we're going more. He's the MVP favorite for a reason. More.
All right, we'll go more there. And then Justin Fields, meanwhile, product of Ohio State, previously Georgia, 0.5 passing touchdowns. Does he have one or does he not get one tonight? More or less?
I'm leaning more. I think he gets one. Only one, but that's all you need.
We're going to go more on both. If we get more on both, we're a winner. You can be a winner too. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WJOX. $50 in lineups. After you play your first $5 lineup, that's code WJOX to get $50 in lineups. After the first $5 lineup, Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
All right, let's wrap up the day with some Pat Ponders brought to you by Courtesy GMC and Trustful.
I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponders.
Brought to you by Courtesy GMC out in Trustful. Visit their online inventory at courtesybirmingham.com. Question number 1. So LSU insists the AD couldn't actually fire Brian Kelly. So I pondered, if Kelly knew that back then, what would LSU have done if it had walked into the office Monday morning and Brian Kelly was there?
Ooh.
You remember the scene in Seinfeld when George quits his job?
No, he was fired.
Or he was fired,
He was
and then he goes
fired.
back to work on Monday to act like he was
Yeah.
never actually fired, and his boss goes, "Is that Costanza I see over there?" That's exactly how I see that situation playing out with Brian Kelly at LSU.
That'd be awkward to say the least. I mean, at that point, you go ahead and you do it there.
Yeah.
So you fire him. So like if he shows up, then whoever is in charge to fire him
Yeah,
is there to fire him.
You fire him.
It's like he shows up. It's like, well, someone didn't send him the memo. It's a little awkward.
Yeah, you fire him
Yeah.
that morning. So weird. How does an AD not know that he
doesn't have the power.
the power to make that decision? Especially one of the ilk of Scott Woodward.
Very odd.
My question is, this would be a question for the attorneys, but if it ever came to that, what has he fired anybody else on that campus, and did he have to get prior approval?
It's a good question. I've never heard of an athletic director that couldn't fire a head coach at their university.
If you make
It's
over
kind of the job.
$250,000, according to LSU, he does not have the power to fire you. And if I'm not mistaken, all the major coaches, whether it's Mulkey, Johnson, right? All those guys, they make over $250,000.
Or if he shows up, it goes this way. Okay, well, Woodward, he can't do that. You call Woodward and you say, hey, you're out. And then possibly, hey, Brian Kelly, you let him coach out the rest of the season?
See, I was about to say, I feel like the fact that they fired Scott Woodward after Brian Kelly, that probably kind of ends the. I would just think that would be a big obstacle for them to overcome this discussion. If you didn't want him to fire the head coach, then why did you not fire him before Brian Kelly?
Question number 2. Of the major sports franchises you follow, you notice I said sports franchises, not college, sports franchises you follow, do others ever consider your fandom unhealthy?
Not mine, because I'm not over the top. I love the Braves, but I'm not over the top like Pat is with the Cardinals. So, yeah, I'm sure that people question it, actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't say mine's over the top. I think people just worried that I have amnesia because I keep talking about how great Tua is, and they're like, "Oh, this guy hasn't watched a Dolphins game in 3 years."
Oh, so you went Dolphins, not Yankees.
I don't think I have an unhealthy fandom of the Yankees. I'm a big fan of the Yankees, but I'm not as big of a Yankees fan as I'm an Alabama fan, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not screaming at the TV.
So your family
throwing
believes
stuff.
your love affair for Tua is sickening.
Well, they just think it's concerning that I can't
Continue
accept
to root for a team that is awful.
I can't accept reality. Yes.
Story of my life growing up. I mean, the Lions were awful. The Tigers had their down period for a while too. So no, I don't think mine's unhealthy. I also moved around a lot as a kid. So.
I didn't say if you thought it was unhealthy. Do
No, but,
other
like, I
people
don't think-
believe that's
no.
unhealthy? Okay.
I think there's probably some that don't share their opinions with us that probably look back from afar and go, that's a little weird.
I think Paige just gets annoyed at there's how many baseball games in here we're watching? Oh, there's 162 of these. Oh,
And then you throw in the 20 some odd spring training games.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I told her this is the last game if they lose, but if they win, it's going to keep on going. And it felt like that went on for like 3 months.
All right, let's try to get in a BB question before we say so long for the afternoon. Are you compelled to rearrange your furniture on a regular basis? If so, how frequently?
Oh, goodness, no. We'll move the sectional to dust, mop, vacuum underneath the sectional because we have hardwoods. So it's not that bad to move it. But no, I try not to move as much furniture as possible.
Yeah, I had to rearrange a little bit of the living room the other day to put up our Christmas tree. And that was enough of a hassle moving like 2 pieces of furniture. Yeah, I'm not doing that on a regular basis. I will say, maybe this is weird, but in college, my roommates and we would reorganize our living room like every couple of months. Like just try to mix
Keep
it
it
up.
fresh.
Yeah.
That's-
Or we'd, be like drunk and be like, well, let's move the furniture.
Well,
and
a
then
lot-
we'd see what kind of weird arrangements we could come up
My
with.
rooms are dictated by position of television.
Yeah.
See, that's how my apartment is. It's not big enough for me to just move my furniture however I want.
Yeah.
See, but it's like almost like you're saying, right? In football season, we would almost have to rearrange it so we could fit as many TVs into a room as possible, so you can watch like 4 games at one time.
One of the best inventions that I bought off TV, and I ordered them off of TV, was the little sliders that you put underneath the furniture to help them slide.
That would be very convenient.
It really is. If you don't have any help or you need somebody else, another guy to help you move something, and they're not available, and your wife can't help you, those sliders, those are clutch.
That would
like an
be.
armoire, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, they're big.
It's a fun word.
Armoire.
Armoire.
That is
Corey
today's
Andretti.
Pat Ponders, brought to you by Courtesy GMC each and every day. Get by and see them off of I-459 exit 32 there in Trustful.
Really good stuff today. We appreciate all of our guests. Rodney Orr of Tider Insider, Rob Pate talking Auburn. Very interesting what Mr. Pate had to say. Of course, Brett Norsworthy, the Southern Gentleman. Eric Henry talking Texas and Georgia. All of that found at the 3-Man Front podcast at JocksFM.com. We appreciate all your interaction on the text line as well, the suggestions that we're getting. Knew that you guys would come through, but all of this for a good cause. We'll continue to remind you about it as we lead up to next Tuesday at Social Taco, where we're broadcast live, and you can come and drop canned goods off to help out families in need around the Thanksgiving, not only Thanksgiving season, but also the Christmas holidays as well. So we appreciate all of you. More suggestions coming in. One involves a turkey neck. I can't read on the air.
Yeah, I'm not doing that one.
Yeah, I don't want you to do that one.
No.
Jimmy says, have Conrad start a car with a screwdriver. Yes, it's possible, says Jimmy.
Is that how you hotwire a car? Do you use a screwdriver to do that?
I don't know.
I'm sure there's a YouTube video for it.
Have Conrad bob for apples and giblet gravy. Jimmy and
Oh.
Pelham. Pat had a
Oh.
really good idea about bobbing for...
Yeah, basically, people that drove by and they would drop their old used toothbrush into a big old vat of, water and whatever else, and then he would bob for toothbrushes.
Turns out that was not a good idea as we started really thinking through that one.
I was fine with it. You had a problem with it?
That's going to do it for us. God is great. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.